My guest today is one that I'm thrilled to have back. He is Ian McCall, retired MMA athlete and the founder of Athlete's Journey Home, a nonprofit that's looking on leveraging psychedelics to help sports-related injuries. Ian's already done so much to give back to athletes and veterans, helping him impact people's lives for the better. And this is a very worthy cause, backed by science, backed by some of the biggest names in sports and medicine. If you're just finding this content, give me a subscribe, like, comment. Really appreciate everyone's support and helping drive me on this journey. Now, retired MMA athlete Ian McCall. Let's get it. Welcome back to Fight Capital, where we step into the ring of combat sports business. I'm your host, Ryan Rappaport. Today, I'm joined again for a second time on the podcast by Ian McCall. He is a retired American mixed martial arts world champion, performance coach, and founder of the McCall method. He is a leading advocate for the use of psychedelics in healing from sports-related injuries and has embarked on a new path of pioneering treatments for athletes and veterans with the Athlete's Journey Home. Ian's work focuses on promoting holistic mind and body therapy, helping athletes reconnect with their purpose and achieve personal fulfillment. Thanks for joining me again, Ian. How are you and where are you joining from?
I am joining from beautiful southern Orange County, California. Paradise, the California Riviera. It's very nice and expensive here. California is the wild, wild west of psychedelia. It really is. We might not have the greatest laws for it, but no one cares here. Everyone's doing it. It's kind of crazy to see how many people are embracing this sort of culture. I belong to a big fancy gym with all the rich people around here, and they're all asking questions. Like, my time in the sauna is no longer peaceful. It's full of telling people about psychedelics or peptides and all this sort of new agey stuff that I was always shunned for a long time. I've been taking arrows for this industry I've been speaking on stage for like 5 years now, maybe longer, since 2018, 19. And I'm still here. It's grown. Now people are thanking me. I get like a couple calls or text messages a week. You saved my life. And I'm like, I just helped you. Don't give me too much credit. But it's beautiful to see humans embracing the healing side. And of course, this is where cultures and fads sort of start, is California. Things spread out. And of course, there's a lot of people doing it the wrong way here. But whatever, we'll get to that later. It's besides the point. People are trying to heal. People are looking for this sort of these levels of enlightenment more and more, and it's cool. It's really nice to now be able to be the steward of, or the face of, I don't really want to be the face of anything, but I'll be the politician for the athletes. Athlete's Journey Home is my life's work. The McCall method is it's a way to make money, and it's my coaching and my scientific platform. But my life's work is a life of service. And with Athlete's Journey Home, I'm taking athletes to the jungles, and we're going to study their brains. And it's the first ever traumatic brain injury study using ayahuasca as the compound that heals. We're going to be testing the human genome, the gut biome, the blood, the electricity, brain, every scan that I can afford, we're going to give these people. And from there, there's 2 days before, there's 2 days after, there's 10 days in between. I have ayahuasca sits and lots of other purgatives and purgativos, if you want to say.
Purgativos, yeah.
Yeah. And, we get to be the next run of people that get to push this message out, because at first we had the veterans, and I stole everything I have from the veteran model at Heroic Hearts Project. So thank you to Jesse and Jared and everybody over there. I even stole their scientific team, or I use my team too. The guys at Onaya Science, we have the first PhD of ayahuasca. We have a psychopharmacologist. We have some incredible doctors involved, and they're all young UK researchers who are looking to push the envelope here. And I somehow became friends with them and said, "Hey, let's do a study. Let's bring down some people and create some change, because the adoring public will listen to athletes more than anybody. Athletes give us hope in our mundane lives, and to all the time. So I still hear people tell me and start crying about somehow I affected their life throughout my career. And I was like, it's a heavy weight, that we need to learn to use for our benefit, for their benefit. People adore you, and they trust you. So if I can bring down, in the neighborhood of like 100 world titles as far as combined out of the first couple sets of people, that would be massive. Even if it's a couple world titles, it's a big deal. But I've got X Games gold and professional race car drivers, and my friend Cheyenne, she earned 2 world titles in barrel racing as a Western rider. Now she's a supermodel. Like you have this whole, not even fight. There's tons of fighters from all walks of life, male, female, wrestling, this and that and the other thing. I tell people, when you look at an amazing accomplishment in sports, there's about a 90% chance or not chance, guarantee that athlete has a lot of brain damage. Tennis, name a few other sports.
Soccer, everything.
No, soccer's got a lot of brain damage.
Yeah, some of the worst. Yeah.
And so a lot of people are affected, and we have an amazing team. We have our first hard date where this first time we go down is going to be for content. I'm going to go down and help facilitate. I'm going to do my own healing in August in Tarapoto with the Hero Carts Project, which is like who I like to sit with when I do deep sits in the jungle. I like to be with veterans and soon to be athletes, of course. But go down there, do my own healing. Then I might stay in Peru for a few weeks, and then I'll have my study. I just don't know if I want to be in Peru that long. But my study is going to be at the Ayahuasca Foundation right outside of Quitos. So there's no higher level of standard, no higher level of science. The University of Melbourne will be collecting our data, or we'll be collecting it for them. I get to learn to be a researcher finally, like a real, like with machines and stuff, and have fun. So I'm really excited, man, that there's so much opportunity here to get this message out with these people. So I'm really honored to be the person in front of it.
Yeah, man. Well, it's almost an exact year since we did our last podcast. And that's when you were like in the early stages. I don't think you were even totally dropping Athlete's Journey Home. It was just like almost like a logo and your baby. I'm just curious, over that time, like what success stories are you using from people who have sat in ayahuasca ceremonies, and how are you translating that to help show how athletes' lives can be impacted by understanding and leveraging the medicine?
Well, right now it's all people that are friends of mine. There's no data. There's anecdotal stories of my friends, whether it's myself, whether it's Dean Lister. The list goes on. There's a good amount of people. Cain Velasquez. I've been working with Cain now. We've seen some incredible work with this sort of medicine. Now that's why I built the structure I have. That's why I've taken this ball and run with it, is because we have to show this data. We were talking about before. I got obsessed with data, being someone who I've always wanted to be a researcher. I've always wanted to be a scientist. And my business partner was here the other day, and she's an actual scientist. She's like, why are you so obsessed with this data? She's like, it doesn't fucking mean anything to you. You don't have it. Like, it doesn't really matter, Ian. You need to focus more on the stories. And she was being blunt with me because she's taught me more than just about anybody in the scientific space. She's like, that's going to lead to somebody else's bank account or university or whatever. You need to focus on telling the story more. And she's the one that taught me to speak on TV. She's the one that taught me to carry myself as a scientist and how to speak about the medicine, how to speak about harm prevention and all the stuff that I've been building or been structuring together. And it's true. The data is only going to probably make somebody else rich. And I don't, whatever, go for it. Knock your socks off. But for me, it's about giving these athletes help with this. When I did ayahuasca, I fucked it up. I did the first time. Pretty bad. And there's so many regrets. But I see other athletes who have, started to slip, do the same thing. It's just humans not understanding how to integrate what we're doing here. So if you look at someone like Aaron Rodgers, who took ayahuasca and really cemented his legacy as Aaron Rodgers, and won these amazing awards and won the Super Bowl. Was it twice?
Yeah, I think twice. Yeah.
He did it right. That's a perfect example. Some people like myself need to retire, and I have to heal the things that happened to me, and I had to do yada yada yada, go down that path. But sometimes, like with Mark the Shark Irwin, or Giorgio Gomez, who's a pro surfer. With Mark, we have to win a world title again, and he wants to keep fighting, but I got to heal his traumatic brain injury that he's went through. I've given him stem cells and mushrooms and ketamine and all these therapies we've been working with, but this is a big step. Giorgio, my surfer, after I gave him 10 grams of mushrooms, I don't know how long, a year ago, maybe less. 2 weeks later, he took fourth in the world in surfing. So these medicines, we can use them to perform better, but I think a lot of people are afraid they're going to quit after. And I get it. It's because, and I hate to say this, but it's the person you're sitting with that's serving you the medicine. They're like, hey, calm. And I'm like, no, man, back the fuck up. These people need to be savages still.
I mean, that's what they're saying about Deontay Wilder right now. Because he went and had his experience with Ayahuasca, and it changed him, for better or for worse. He's still getting knocked out, but there's are a lot of misconceptions about it, and there's still a lot of stigma around it. Can you just talk a little bit about some of those misconceptions and stigmas in the realm of professional sports?
The how this is a drug, stigma, how you're weird. And it's like, everyone's like, why would you, like, I don't want to do that. It's going to make me soft. It can make you soft. If you need to retire, you might need, like, this is going to help you get over the fact that you need to retire. Deontay Wilder needed to retire. Okay. But if you have, and I was making fun of people who, everyone talks like this when they serve you medicine, they talk with their eyes closed, and they're just like, hey, listen, like, let's line up our chakras. Like, no, man, I need to get to the heart of these problems and perform this. I'm not pussyfooting around. I once had a coach who was part of a big certification program, and he goes, because I've had to make sure I have all these things in line for myself, and I like educating myself. He goes, whatever you do not upset the emotional state of your clients, whether they're on the medicine or not. You can't do that. And I was like, I chimed in. I was like, you said I could chime in, so I'm going to chime in. I was like, haha, I physically choke my clients, whether they're microdosed or not. And when I microdose them, maybe I'll turn up the volume and make this pressure suck even more.
Hey, everyone. Quick favor to ask. Did you know that nearly 80% of the people tuning in right now aren't subscribed yet? That subscribe button down below is what powers me every week to keep putting out these podcasts. Big shout out and thank you to everyone that's been supporting me for this. I couldn't do it without you. If you're enjoying the content, please subscribe below. It means the world to me. And for everyone supporting me, thank you so much. Now back to...
I have to create diamonds out of these individuals. These are not your normal everyday humans. Before we even, I guess while we do it, to get to the fact of what makes them be these crazy people in the first place, they're nuts. You want to achieve 10 world titles in something? Kind of an asshole. Like, that's a lot of selfish energy. And for your average person to try and understand of how to hold space for them, I don't trust you with these people. I don't trust you how to keep them in line of how to forge forward. Whether they then, because you are going to change on a fundamental level. The fabric of your reality is going to change after this, but we have to use it for the better. And if you don't want to become a soft individual, you don't have to. My teachings are not soft. Like, these people are not soft. Even from at the Ayahuasca Foundation, they have a new facility that's very rustic. Like, well, we have the 5-star amenities, or we have the rustic one. Those are the only two that are open. And I was like, put us in the mud.
We want a hut.
Yeah. Like,
straw hut, please.
Yeah. And the most strict diet, the most strict everything, because that's how we live. We're not here to just, feel safe. Oh my God. Like, no, I want to fucking deal with this shit so that I can go on and be better. So I can be the example. Because no matter what happens, whether they want to retire or they want to push forward and win more world titles or a world title, whatever it may be, and galvanize themselves in the sport that they love, either way, it's going to lead them to a life of service. Either way, whether they're carrying themselves now as a current athlete, they're going to stand up straighter and speak louder about what they believe in and about what they think is right, and put on a better show because they're uninhibited by the bullshit that gives us anxiety and performance anxiety. These people can now flow and move better, or they just learn to find a space within their own environment, and then they help their people heal. And I'm trying to provide structure for a job after this. You know, these people can go through the healing. Obviously with the funding, I put them through, I get them a scholarship to be a coach, and then they end up coaching for the nonprofit. Because if you look at the veteran model, they have thousands of veterans going through this thing, and someone has to coach them all. I can't coach them all. I'm the first to admit, like, I don't have a lot of time to coach people. And I would rather have coaches that I coach to do that for me, you know, because it's paperwork and it's all these things. I'm trying to be a politician and talk for everybody else and sit on stage, and it's exhausting. And one day when I can set the structure up better, I'll be able to coach. I mean, full time probably, because it's a job that it takes a lot of work to sit there and talk to people on Zoom all day and walk them through the process and the homework that we have. Because there's a lot of content. Like this isn't like, oh, you just take some drugs in the jungle and you talk to your friends about it. Like, no, I'm going to put you through work, man. It's exhausting.
Well, we know that there's like a lot of professional organizations that could probably benefit from this, and know you're really tied into the UFC. I know there's a lot of other global organizations that could possibly see benefits from this. I mean, how is this being perceived from an upper organizational standpoint? Because I know you're very grassroots, but who else is buying into this?
The UFC just told me they can't work with me anymore. They went public, and some people in my life were like, well, fuck them. And I was like, whoa. I still like free tickets. Okay. I love the UFC. I hope I can make that thing.
Yeah.
They went public. This is still fringe. I now don't need them. I can work my way around them. If they want to get on board later, fine. They're now working with, what is this? The CPI, the stem cell thing.
Stem cells. Yep. That was a huge jump.
I'm next. It's true. All I have to do is prove it. It's just like when I became the best fighter in the world, #1 pound for pound, ranked above John Jones at one point. Okay, I don't know if people remember that shit. Sherdog article, Sherdog was a big deal back then. When I became the best in the world, it was in the parking lot of an Indian casino, a Native American reservation casino, First Nations people casino in Central California. Okay. Talk about grassroots. I had to earn my way into the UFC, and I did it, and I'll do it again. Now I'm just a science dork trying to help their fighters. You know, I've pitched them ketamine and mushrooms on Johns Hopkins, University of Miami, grams, and at first they were super into it. This was before they went public. They have helped me so much, and they've got me in Forbes magazine and all this other sort of shit. So I'm not mad at them at all. Like, whatever, you can't work with me, cool. I would like some gloves donated to me so I can auction them off and have somebody sign them, but they won't do that, which kind of annoyed me. But whatever, it's fine. I had my feelings hurt for a second. But, you know, the people in bare knuckle boxing, they love me. That's the next perversion of life that we get to watch. Have you been to a bare knuckle fight?
Yeah, I went to BKFC 18. Yeah, I've been following it closely, obviously, because of Mark, who I be, and yeah, I mean, they say that concussionary injuries are cut down and it's more lacerations. I don't know how I feel about that.
Either way, it's gnarly. And either way, it is, like I said, the next level of perversion that we can get our hands on and watch. And I watched BKFC in downtown LA, and the fights were dog shit. But there was a couple good ones, but most of them were boo boo.
The clips, the clips are where it's at. So after content, as far as I'm concerned.
But the environment, the place was electric the whole time. Like, it never dropped. And Mark and I, because, you know, Mark's a champion for the other organization, we snuck down onto the backstage and we got back there and we're like, yeah, man, we defeated something, or we're just causing trouble. So, but we see the matchmakers and we see all the movers and shakers that I saw from like old school MMA days. People who are raising money. I know somebody who told me that they raised $30 million for a new bare knuckle organization. So, of course, for me, as the business side of it, I was like, okay, how do I get involved? I want to be the athlete care coordinator. I'll do commentary or something, but like I need to take care of these athletes because I see the discrepancies in pay. I see the discrepancies in talent. I see people getting led to the slaughter that I'm just like, that's a crackhead. Like, that guy's a fucking actual crackhead, and you're letting this other guy, this tank, punish him. I'm like, that's not cool. Like, that's fucked up. But yeah, bare knuckle's interesting. What are the other organizations? I'm supposed to be talking to some rugby people from the All Blacks, but we'll see how that goes. Man, I'm just trying. The big organizations, the UFC was my baby. They were my my thing, and now they kind of cut me off. So
Mm.
I got to pivot, and I'm kind of not really chasing anything right now like that. Right now, I have to build my data set.
Hmm.
Back to the data. Back to the data. When I can show the UFC what I can do, they're in. So that's why data really matters to me. So go ahead.
Well, yeah, just talk to me about where you're at right now with Athlete's Journey Home, and what are the plans for expanding that reach and the impact of it.
Yeah, I'm in talks with a lot of people of influence, but nobody wants to give me money. I'm not good at pandering for money, so that's now someone else's job. I have a beautiful woman that works for us. That's going to be out there collecting money. So perfect. I can just keep talking. I'm trying to chip away every day and get this email sent to a new person that pops in my head or comes into my world. I was trying to throw events. I was trying to throw comedy shows, but it turned out to be expensive, and I have to pay for it all, and I have a bunch of other shit to pay for. So it's going to have to stop for now. But eventually, it will be comedy shows and events to raise money. I have cool spaces that I can use, so I just have to raise some money and get that done. Because when you really want to raise money for a nonprofit, you have to have events. Like that's just how it goes. But for now, we're in the baby stage where we're not going anywhere. I have the 501c set up. I have bank accounts and websites, and like I showed you the PDFs of all of our scientific breakdown and understanding so far. Um, I have the greatest scientific team in the space. Like, it's not MAPS, it's not all these other people. It's my team, and it's really cool to be a part of. But we're looking for money. I have the athletes. I have everybody ready. I have my first set of probably like 8 people that I'll bring down. I have to raise money for the documentary as well. That's another thing, part of it. But my personal guy was shooting all my info. He's pretty cheap, because he sees the potential in it. I also have Jordan Kronick, who's an Emmy award-winning producer, the guy that put me on HBO Real Sports. HBO Real Sports is no longer a show, and he called me the other day and was like, "Hey, would you want to help me shoot a long form doc?" I was like, "Yeah, I think so."
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is going to work out well. So it's just about pushing forward. I live a life of service. I have my message from God, what I'm supposed to do in this world, and it's help people. I'm being mentored by a man that ran SEAL Team 6 for 20 years, and through him, we've got some good solid people around us. That we're just trying to create a good structure of what we're doing, because these athletes are going to change a lot of lives. I'm really excited.
Yeah, man. Well, if for anyone who's watching this, what's the best way for them to help? How can people find you and Athlete's Journey Home? And what would be the best thing that anyone who's interested in participating in this can do to help you?
Go to athletesjourneyhome.com. There's a donate button like 2/3 down the page. You can find me on Instagram, Ian McCall, or find Athlete's Journey Home on there. There's some donation links all over my page, or you can message me if you want to talk further. I'm always here to speak on it. If you have questions about ayahuasca, you want to be part of the study, we have a few different versions. We have people which is a lot of athletes and fighters especially, are broke. They don't have any money, especially $10,000 it takes per person to study their brains. And not every single retreat we'll do is going to be a study. Sometimes it's $3,500 a person plus flights. It's like we can kind of tailor make it to the retreat itself. But some people, if you want to come in and sit in the ceremony and pay for somebody else or what have you, there's a lot of options. I'm just trying to make everybody happy and show that there's an ecosystem and understanding of all this. And yeah, I like talking about it. So let me know.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, it really, from the deepest part of my heart, I really appreciate what you're doing and a lot of unselfishness and sacrifice that you make. Whether it's putting your persona on the line, being basically the sacrificial lamb of the person leading this discussion as well. But I think it's a really valuable service that you provide the community and the world at whole in helping tell this story. And I'm really happy that you're the person leading this. I don't know if many other people could take the barbs and the arrows, like you were saying before, that as you've taken to do this. So kudos to you, man.
Thank you, man. It's hurt. I'm not gonna lie. Like having my own mother say things to me, or like all kinds of people, man. It's been a long road, but I'm not going to stop. So thank you very much for letting me live this life world, because it's been a fun time. It has. It's only going to get better.
Yeah, man. Well, I'll make sure to share all those donation links. Anyone watching this, please donate, follow, keep promoting this message. It's a really important one. And, thanks for joining me again today, man. I really appreciate it.